Hey, FanboyNation.
This is your pal Daffy Duck, and you're watching.
We're watching
Fanboy.
Fanboy,
fanboy, etc.
FanboyNation.
I assume Tom.
This man is the playwright behind the world premiere at the Chance Theater in Anaheim for Such Small Hands. We are talking to Adam Szymkowicz. One more time. Adam Szymkowicz, right?
Yeah, it's great.
All right, take it from the top. All right. World premiering at the Chance Theater. Small Hands, written by Adam Szymkowicz, who we have with us today from the East Coast. Adam, how are you?
I'm doing really well. Thanks for having me.
Listen, man, this is the world premiere of Small Hands. It is a two-person play.
Yep.
You know, it's a two-person play. We have Bruce Goodrich and Juliet Fisher as the stars of this. It was written pre-pandemic. How did this all come about?
I had a reading at the Chance. I forget how long ago it was, at least a year ago, and it went really well. And they were like, "We like this play." So that's not the thing that always happens. So it's always great when that actually happens.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited for people to see it. I think I think the cast is great, and I think it'll be funny and touching and a good time and a little sad.
Is this loosely based on your own grandparents, some experience that you've had? Like, how did the story come about?
No, I mean, I've had some dementia in my life, but when I was writing it, I was taking care of a small child who is very, if you've ever had like a toddler in your house, it's very repetitive, kind of the same thing over and over again. And at the same time, I was watching the decline of one of my mentors. And so the combination of those two things kind of, I think, created this play in my head. And I started working on it, trying to, work that out on the page kind of.
Yeah. Well, it's dealing with children and unfortunately elders that are slowly on the decline.
Yeah.
Is definitely a source for something like this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was. This was pre-pandemic that I wrote this, but we had a reading during the pandemic over Zoom that was really wonderful. In Chicago with some amazing actors, and they did it twice, and the second time there were like 1,000 people who saw this this video because that was the pandemic and like stuff like that was happening at the time.
Yeah, your world premiere is going to be on Friday, February 28th. When you've done a residency at Chance and you live on the East Coast.
Yeah.
You have to trust the directors and the casting as a part of it. I know you can do quite a bit of stuff over Zoom, but is there ever a moment where, you're 3,500 miles away and that fear sets in of, did I do the right thing by not being there and almost micromanaging it?
Yeah, I think I'm at a place in my career where I don't feel like I have to micromanage. Like I know what the play is, like the play's been around for a while. Like I feel pretty confident in the play, and I feel very confident in this group of artists as well. So I zoomed in to the first reading, and I saw like a video of a stumble through recently. But basically it's just, you just kind of like, as a playwright, like so much of it is like, okay, now I got to let go. Now I got to just like hope that the magic comes together in the end. But I'm not that worried about this play. Like, I feel like this play is what it wants to be. And I think it's going to come through, and I think that people will like it.
Well, I've never seen a bad performance at the Chance, so I'm expecting good things for you. I presume you're going to be here for the world premiere, or at least hopefully.
Yeah, I'm flying in on Saturday, so I'm going to be here for the 2 weeks. I'll be here for for previews and rehearsals, and then I'll be here for the opening, and then leave right after that.
May I ask you a personal question regarding your mentor? If that's
Oh,
okay. No, no,
uh,
not like a heavy detail. Not like a heavy
yeah,
detail.
yeah, yes, but like I don't want to be like this is who it is.
No, 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 none of
Okay,
that. No, 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 no. We have to respect their privacy.
yeah.
Uh, when the play was written, as you saw their steady decline, were you able to do a reading with them and let them know that they were still cognitively there while knowing that they were your inspiration for this? Or, was it
No,
too
no,
too
that
difficult from there?
that didn't happen,
Unfortunately.
unfortunately. And it's not like a directly like this character is based on you kind of thing. It was kind of like remembering what it was like when my grandmother was going through this, and then kind of uh, just watching it start to happen in real time, and like how hard that was, and how devastating that was.
Okay. Yeah, because I didn't know if you were able to do the read with them while they were still, fully
No,
functioning or at least somewhat.
no, no. I was still in touch with them for a while, but yeah, no, they don't know this play. They didn't ever experience this play, which is it's okay. It's the play is its own thing, and like playwrights understand that, I think.
Yeah. It's a very Rent moment where, John wrote the play and it was about to go on Broadway and then, wasn't there for opening night, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah. Which I mean, that's the other play that's at the Chance right now. The one that came before Rent,
Yeah.
which I saw in New York years ago, and I love that musical. It's so good.
The performers were fantastic for Tick Tick Boom. Like, Lena Senna, and I can read her name, but pronunciation, I'm sorry, Lena, if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, just stole the show.
Yeah, that's great.
Um, when you, as a playwright, a part of it is a personal experience, a part of it, you're drawing inspiration from all over the world, and it's very personal to you while you write it. How do you let go of it when it's put out into the world? Like, when is it no longer your baby and it belongs to the ether?
I mean, I feel like it always still belongs to me, but you have no control over how people are going to interpret it, or everyone brings themselves to it, and so it may become something very different from what you planned, and sometimes that works out great too, and sometimes not so much. I mean, I started writing plays in college, in like the like mid to late 90s, and so that was, like I feel like after a while you just kind of get used to it. You kind of get used to, okay, I'm publishing it, and it will go off, and like it will go well or it won't go well, and that's just what it is. And I've done that. I mean, I just published like my 30th play recently, and like that's a lot of letting go and a lot of putting out into the world. And it does, I feel like it does get easier, but some people have a much tighter grip on things than others, and I think it's probably harder, like the more control you want over something, because like once it's published and some community group does it, like it might be very different from the way that you planned. Or I've also gone to a bunch of those and they've been wonderful, and like better than I planned, and so that's always the other fun surprise. But like you can't, like life, you can't really control like what happens in your life. We all have like a limited control over what how people are going to respond to something, how people, you know, like all the crazy things that happen in life. Like we only have so much that we can actually do. And so you kind of like, I'm like, okay, this is what I do. This is what I can put out into the world. And then you just kind of hope for the best.
Uh, this is a two-person play,
Yeah.
and it's a very intimate setting. How intentional was it that you just wanted it a conversation between two people, a very My Dinner with Andre type deal?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really about their relationship, and so it's very intentional. Of like this is a play about this couple and their life together, and getting to a new place that they've never gotten to before. Uh, so I write about love a lot, and so it makes sense that that this is the kind of play that I would write at some point.
And how did you settle on the name Such Small Hands?
It's from a E. E. Cummings poem, um, but it it's in the play, the main character keeps looking at his hands and they don't look right to him, and um, I think it's like the metaphor for the like what I was and what I am, and like things are different now.
A lot of film actors can't watch themselves on screen. As a
Mm-hmm.
playwright, is it difficult for you to watch various interpretations of your work and seeing what they saw of the character? Or are you able to sit through it and, get their interpretation as well?
I mean, like that's what theater wants to be. It wants to have everyone's interpretation, and you hope that always that the play still works if it's very different from the way that you had thought it in your head. Um, but the delightful thing is when someone comes up with a cool new way of doing something that you haven't seen before, and sometimes it's just a line that's like a lot funnier than it normally is, or like a different take that just works a lot better. Um, it's exciting to have new people inhabit something. I mean, whenever I have like a reading or a production, like I used to be an actor, but I feel like when I'm sitting there in the audience watching something, I feel like I'm more upstage, like more on the stage than I was when I was an actor.
That's an interesting take on it. I've never thought of it feeling that way.
Yeah, yeah. To me, sometimes you have like a talk back afterwards, and I feel like I've just been talking for 90 minutes, and now you want to hear more from me?
But is that always exciting when people have questions and are looking for resolve or something stuck out? They're like, why did you decide to do something X way versus Y way? And, can you explain this a little more in detail? Because if I missed something.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully you've done your work before then, and it won't be too confusing for most of the audience. I do. It is exciting to when people want to talk about it after, when people are, feel like they've had an experience and want to discuss it with you. That's always a great thing.
Well, we are looking forward to the world premiere on February 28th. We're excited for you, and especially being at the Chance Theater. The Chance itself is just an incredible venue. There's not a
Yeah.
bad seat in the house. When you get to have a world premiere, and for those that are always worried, since this is Southern California, ample parking. There is ample parking at
Yeah,
the
there is.
Chance.
There's a lot of
So you
parking.
have nothing to worry about. Yeah. How fun is that for you as a performer, as a writer, as someone that just wants to be a part of what's going on?
I mean, the world premiere is so exciting every single time, and the Chance has been a home of mine for it's been like 14 years. They did a play of mine 14 years ago, and then we've done a bunch of workshops and readings since then. And so I've come in and out of the Chance over and over again over the years. I was their first commission also fairly recently. And yeah, no, it's really great to grow old with these folks, to be like, hey, I'm back again, and this is the best reason to come back and hang out.
Well, from first commission to world premiere, congratulations.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm very
Has
excited for people to see the show.
I'm excited to see the show. Has there ever been a question that was so unique that it threw you off in a talkback?
I'm trying to think. It's more of like when I don't understand what someone's trying to ask me. I think sometimes people have ideas about the creative process that are different from how it works for me, and for everybody has a different way of creating, and so for some people it may make a lot of sense, and other people it may not. Um, so sometimes like someone will just say something, and I just won't really know how to answer the question. Um, it doesn't happen a lot, but it happens enough that I'm like, oh right, this is they have an idea of that like things should work this way, and for me it doesn't work that way, so I don't really know how to talk about that.
Gotcha. No, that makes sense because sometimes I get tongue-tied myself, and it's always interesting when you're able to answer a question that was actually something you didn't expect to be answered, or at least in the way
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you
yeah, for sure.
intended for what your question was.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
As we get closer to the world premiere, how do the nerves settle in for you? Are you calm till they turn down the house lights? Are you antsy until the house lights? Like, how does that normally work for you as a playwright seeing a world premiere of your work?
Um, I mean, it's been a couple years since I was sitting in the audience for a world premiere. It's usually it's I feel like at this point in the process, like I've heard the play enough that I sort of have an idea of how the audience is going to respond. Um, so, I mean, for me, sometimes the first reading is a lot scarier. Like the first time you have a public reading of something is more nerve wracking than sometimes like the full production of something. Um, Sometimes you just it's I I also feel like my level of anxiety has gone down a lot. Like since I was first doing this, like in my 20s. Like it's like a really um like I know what the stakes actually are, and I feel like a way that I didn't know when I was just a kid. Um and so like everything is not an emergency, and it's like you hope it goes well, but if it doesn't go well, it's not the end of the world. And usually when I get the first laugh, like it's easier for me to calm down after the first laugh. But it's I'm going to see this over and over again, so I'll definitely see a bunch of previews before we get to opening night. Um, and that helps a lot too. Of like, oh, I know how this goes. And the opening night audience is usually like the most exuberant, like happy to be their audience that you're going to get the whole time. Usually.
Well, let's hope everyone is as cheerful and as jolly as we anticipate them to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Opening night, Friday, February 28th at 8 p.m. We're going to link people to where they can purchase tickets to come out and check the show. I'm excited for you. Such Small Hands is world premiere. It's got to be an exciting homecoming at this point for you.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be nice to it's also like 20 degrees here right now. So it'll be nice to not not have to wear lots of sweaters and a hat the whole time.
I don't know if you're going to be able to handle that frothy 68 degrees that weekend.
Oh man, yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it.
Bring the thermal socks.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, as we're wrapping this up, because I know it's 11 o'clock on the East Coast, it's 8 o'clock here on the West Coast. Like superstition wise, I'm going to ask you this one. I've never asked
Okay.
superstition from a playwright before. So athletes typically have superstition. Like I have friends that played baseball, they'd have to tap the bat at the plate at certain
Oh,
corners first.
yeah,
I had when I was wrestling in high school, we had a teammate that did not wash his gear because he thought it was bad luck to wash it, which we forced him to eventually because it was
yeah.
disgusting. Do you have any superstitions or any specific outfits that you have to wear that like this is my lucky jacket? It's gonna hit big if I wear this jacket or
I'm
whatever it
gonna
is.
be so boring that no, I don't have anything like that. But I mean, my jacket from my 20s would not fit me now, so that just wouldn't work out. I mean, I do like I write my thank you cards the day before opening, and let's see, what else do I do? There's nothing specifically I do. Sometimes I like usually try to get a drink before opening night, so that so that I have a little bit of a buzz as I'm watching it, because like the once the opening night comes, you're not so much judging the play. You kind of know what the play is, and you're just like on the ride. But yeah, I don't. There are words that I don't say. I say break a leg. I don't say good luck. I like that kind of thing. Like I
Mhm.
abide by all those things, but I don't. I don't have a special sock I wear or anything.
Although a special sock would just be funny. It's just the one sock.
Like it's a hand puppet maybe, and I have to wear the sock hand puppet to every opening.
Listen, Jim Henson made an entire career of a green sock puppet that became Kermit the Frog. So,
Guy was a genius.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we are looking forward to February 28th at the Chance Theater, 8 p.m. Links to tickets will be in the description below. Adam, where can we find you on social media if we want to connect with you?
If you can spell my name, you can find me. I'm at all the places.
Yeah. It's an Americanized spelling because there's actually a couple of vowels in it.
Yeah, there's only two Z's, so it should be no problem.
Adam Szymkowicz, thank you so much for your time today. Such Small Hands, world premiere, February 28th, Chance Theater in Anaheim, California. Can't wait to meet you face to face.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.